What's up, you guys? It's 2bricks, and spoiler warning for the Book of Boba Fett episodes 5 and on. This video will be covering a ship that was just introduced, and I'm sure that you've already seen it if you live on the internet. But just in case, for anybody who's trying to avoid spoilers, that's your warning. Now on with the video. Alright, you guys, what's up? Today I have two brand new mocks to share with you, and I'm so excited to have these in my Ultimate Playset Scale series. These are the Naboo N1 Starfighter and Modified N1 Starfighter for Din Djarin, for The Mandalorian, and for Book of Boba Fett. Obviously, super excited that this ship has made its way back into canon in a big way, and in a really interesting and fun kind of modified way here. And I am not just bandwagoning here. I was actually so surprised to see this show up in the Book of Boba Fett. And if you guys remember from my Royal Naboo Starship video, I was saying how I was jazzed up on Naboo stuff, and I initially was trying to make one of these, and I failed. I didn't quite have exactly the design that I wanted down yet, so I just kind of put that aside and I worked on something else. But I was inspired when I saw this ship show up in the Book of Boba Fett to come back and have another go at it. So this is me doing that, and instructions are available for both of these craft. They're really sturdy, and they're super fun to play with and really swishable. So I'm really excited to get in and show you the details on both of these today. So let's do it. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to give you a look at the classic, the OG from the Phantom Menace. I cannot believe that this ship design is well over 20 years old at this point. It still blows my mind that the prequels came out so long ago. But yeah, this is one of my absolute favorite designs from that movie, and it's one that I just never thought I would have the ability to tackle the way that I want to in LEGO, because it's just so sleek, so curved, it's so thin, the proportions and the angles are so tricky, but yeah, I just persevered and I figured it out. So of course, with the aid of a lot of more recent LEGO parts that just make it possible to even think about trying this. So I'm well aware that other builders have tackled this to great effect in the past, Inthert being probably the most prominent one. My ship is not based on his design in any way or anybody else's. This was actually a fully scratch-built effort, and if you guys are on my Discord and you hop in there, you can see like kind of little design previews and things that I'm working on, where I share a lot of kind of behind the scenes and progress updates and things that I don't get to put on YouTube. So you can see in future the kind of designs, sort of building up from the ground up. So yeah, this is my own take on the Naboo Starfighter, and I'm absolutely thrilled with the angles, the sleekness, the curves, and the way that the body all just kind of melts into, and underneath the wing here, and the way that it all just kind of folds in, and all these really nice details just sort of melt into each other. So yeah, really pleased with that. And of course it comes with this little simple stand down here. It's just a handful of pieces to keep it upright, and it does wobble a little bit on the stand, but it's not going, it's very stable. It's just by virtue of the flexing of the parts and the stand attachment point being so thin. But yeah, so this is your Naboo Starfighter. So let's get in and look at some of the details up close. So starting off with these super rounded engines, obviously you guys can see I'm making use of these relatively new 3x3 cylinder pieces, which now come in gray and yellow, thanks to a recent LEGO Friends set. I actually bought that set just to get the pair of yellow 3x3 rings that you see here, and I've applied the stickers. You can see here stickers all throughout from the previous official Naboo LEGO sets for the Starfighter. This one is unaltered, but these ones have been cut to fit, because they weren't originally designed to fit on those pieces. So you can see on the other side here the kind of kill count, or I'm not sure exactly what that represents, but yeah, both of these have also been cut to fit. But I tried to capture as much of the detail practically as I could, and by practically I mean with LEGO pieces. So we have the little blasters down here, we have the engine kind of exhaust blue kind of energy emanating out of there, and it kind of catches the light in a nice way because it's that semi-transparent piece. We have the little red detailing down here. This is actually a representation of a part of the cockpit that is kind of cut into the frame, and then there's some I'm not sure if it's Orbesh or other style of lettering in here, and so I just have these hollow studs to represent that text that actually exists down there either side of the windshield. So that's that, and then underneath here we have a representation of, let me just pop it off the stand. So really simple, just a Technic axle that holds onto the stand there. On the bottom side here, we have a representation for the missile launch tube, and I've just placed a spring-loaded shooter in there just for aesthetics, but you can just obviously remove that. That is optional. But yeah, you can see that I have the really kind of sleek, smoothed out underside and the gray that continues all the way back into the tail there. And the curves and everything as kind of close as I could get it. And I'm really, really happy with that, and especially the way that this part right here kind of goes into the front underneath the nose, and the angle that I'm achieving with that, with the hinged piece holding onto this relatively recent, I'm not sure what this is, but it's a panel that started coming out with like TIE fighters from around the Rogue One era. So I really like this piece, and I think it just absolutely helps to blend that in perfectly. You can see here that the body wraps around the underside of the wings here, like it's supposed to with the yellow section. And if I give you a look at it from the front, you can see here that the angle on the wings is actually correct with the way that you know, they slope down towards the engines, and then there's, you know, that very, very slight angle, and then it all just kind of blends into the front here with this the way that these pieces kind of come together really seamlessly, and I'm just absolutely thrilled with that. And the wings are fully 2 plates thick and no more. There's no additional kind of cheater pieces or anything to help it stay together. It doesn't need them. The ship is very sturdy, and it just has the 2 plates thick, kind of keeping it all together. So yeah, I'm actually really, really, really happy with that. And I love the way that these buried kind of channels here for the laser guns, the way that they work, and they kind of just blend into the front here, and it just, especially from a distance, it really captures the look that you see on the shooting model there. So yeah, that's absolutely great. And a big shout out to my friends on Discord for helping me kind of finesse the design on this, and giving me some suggestions for things that they like and did not like, which actually helped me kind of hone my own eye and make this even better. So yay, thanks a lot, Discord family. And then you can see here the cockpit is obviously able to open, because that wouldn't be a very good 2bricks design if you couldn't open the cockpit. And inside we have Kid Anakin Skywalker. He's got his short leg configuration, so that will work as well. Just pull him out of there, and we can actually see a full-size Naboo pilot in there as well, no problemo. So the pilot would just sit down in there with the little, the relatively new leg bracket pieces that we have from Lego, with the little black piece that kind of sits in between their legs and just kind of pinches them in there. So let me pull that out and show you guys. So you can see there, the seat is very nice and kind of plush, and it's got the correct coloring there with the sand green. Got some kind of nice little bar detail off to the side where the figure could hold on, or, you know, just kind of looks like it's, I don't know, keeping him in there. He's got a yoke at the front, which is represented by a gray droid body. And then if you pull that down a little bit, you can see here we have the accurate 3 displays here, the in the blue color, because this is not currently set to autopilot. And then the 2 bottom ones sit a little bit further out, which is again accurate to the screen. So really, really happy with that, and the way that the kind of the plates all just kind of wrap around the seat here and just kind of give it that look like it's really built in to the ship. And then the way that this all comes down and just perfectly sits in between these bracket pieces on either side, which just, it absolutely perfectly meets up there. And the way that these wedge plates also come up to the side here and just meet up perfectly, really, really satisfied with all of that. So it was really, really tricky figuring out all of the clips and plates and brackets and things under here to keep all of this exactly to the right kind of curve and angle that I wanted it. But this is all, you know, really, really secure and sturdy, and I'm just super happy with it. So R2-D2 is up here, and his head can rotate full 360. He's just on a turntable underneath there, so he can be looking behind him and seeing who's coming. Then, you know, you have kind of the back section here where this transitions into this an uneven number of studs going back versus the front where it's an even number. And that transition in here usually would be a really weak point, but this ship is actually very sturdy, and you can just pick it up by the tail, no problem. So yeah, really, really happy with that. In fact, talking of sturdiness, let's give you an overall look at the stress test. All right, so handling this thing. So on the stand, it's very secure. It's not going to fall over on you. The stand is, you know, nicely balanced, and the center of gravity is pretty close to where it actually connects into the stand there. So really no problems with that. Let me just pop this off. So nice and easy to disconnect it as well. So yeah, the stand just plugs into this little Technic hole piece right here. So you can just handle the ship from the body. I'm kind of squeezing the body here. It's all very, very solid, so that's no problem at all. I'll just pop the stand off screen here. and then we can pick the ship up from the back. That's no problem. You can swoosh it from here. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it because why stress out the thinner section of the design, but just know that you can handle it from back here, and it's a-okay. You can also pick the ship up by the engines, and you can move it around, no problem at all. The wings are fixed in position using Technic modified plates, and those clip into the underside of this section, and it's all clamped in place here. And then the guns, the spacing between the guns and this section just kind of keeps the wings set to the exact right angle so they don't go up or down. So that gives you that sturdiness that you can just do that with. The ends of these are held in with Technic axles that run right the way through them, so this is all very sturdy, and same goes for the front section here as well. So nothing is going to just pop off on you. The only section that's kind of like, I guess, weak, you could say, is this back section here. The way that this is held in is using one of these relatively new modified, if we can just take that off, plate with bar pieces. And that actually holds onto this back section really, really well, and it's super sturdy and doesn't droop or anything. But if you bump it, it will just come out of alignment. So it naturally wants to be flat up against the body here when you push it in there. So that's fine. It doesn't come out of alignment on its own. But if you bump it, you will have to just go in there and fine-tune the adjustment. And that's really the only kind of weak area, I would say, of the entire thing. Other than that, it's super sturdy, and you can kind of reenact Anakin coming in and crashing here on the Trade Federation ship, and you can see it just kind of spins around on its base because it's super smooth. On the other side, there's no landing gear because the N1 fighter doesn't have landing gear as far as what we see in the prequels anyway. That may have been retconned in Clone Wars or something, but yeah, it just kind of, it either is hovering in place or it has external landing gear that comes in and just kind of holds onto it when it's powered down. So, but yeah, I could not be happier with this ship. Swishing it around is an absolute joy, and just going around my house shooting at imaginary Trade Federation targets with this, absolutely a pleasure. So yeah, super thrilled with that. So let's take a look at Din Djarin's version. So starting off with a quick size comparison, these are exactly the same length from tip to tail. That's something that I really wanted to maintain with this. I didn't want it to seem like Din Djarin's one is a different ship. I wanted it to seem like it was actually truly a modification of the standard N1, with just with some parts removed and some other parts added. So yeah, the entire kind of chassis is built on the same sort of, I guess, the same basic design, but obviously with all of these different panels and details and missing parts and holes sort of added in here to give it that scrapped up look that it has. So the back section here with the little compartment for Grogu has been obviously is a different design, and the way that all comes together is different than on the N1, and it makes this whole section a little bit longer because this is a 4-wide dome, and it's the only thing that would kind of comfortably fit a Grogu figure in there, so that was kind of necessary. But that's really the only section of the ship that feels different to the rest. Everything else feels identical. We have the kind of exposed front here with the plating has been removed, and you can see these ice skate pieces that represent the frame underneath that would hold the wings in place. We have the super detailed different engine pods on the side here, so you can see this side has slightly unique detailing with this piece that comes right down over the top, and then we have the different kind of piping detail and stuff in here, and then on the other side it's different with more mechanical pieces and kind of more missing elements than the other side has, and then it has these two little attached kind of pylons underneath here. I'm not exactly sure what those do. I'm guessing they give it some extra boost because this seems to be a incredibly fast ship, even when compared to the original, so that's really cool. It's got the kind of yellow accents all the way down, and I tried to keep them all kind of varied. So here we have a little bit of a step up here, so it kind of looks like it was just sort of sprayed on there, and you've got some streaking. Here we have the one off-color tan piece, and I did that on the other side too to kind of give it the sense that it was just quickly sprayed from here to here, and it didn't get as thick of a coating towards the outside. And then on here we have it where in between these hold sections here, we have a little bit of the yellow poking through, which is accurate to the ship as well. This is just an off-color little kind of bit of rust or something, or just some some damage. And then back here we just have the little bit of tail accent. So yeah, I think the color scheme is all really, really accurate to what we see in the movie or in the show. It feels like a movie. It's so well done. And then here is the section where the tail has been stripped away and some bare kind of frame and beams are exposed, and I'm using a spear piece to represent the little kind of tip, little bit of covering that's left over for the back section here. And I think that that all works out really, really well. And then underneath here we have the additional engine that was added by Pelly to give it that, again, another kick of speed. Really accurate looking as far as the detailing goes, and you can attach the blue, kind of trans blue cone piece in there if you want to kind of give it that, engine exhaust look. And then moving around here, we can see at the front here we have the new cannons that are installed. So I basically had the exact same cannon assembly as on the traditional N1, but I added these cannons on the front because I feel like that's what they did in the show. They added additional firepower to the existing cannons there, so I wanted to make sure that those felt like they were the same mounts and everything, and the spacing is the same for the little tubes here, and we have the little chromed lightsaber tips there. I think those look really nice for the end section. I'm using headlight bricks here to represent the little slashes, the little cuts that are made along the side of the hull, and then I'm also using one of these spring-loaded shooter pieces to give it that little gray paneled accent in there where that actually is represented on the real thing. So really, really happy with all of that. So let's take a look on the inside of the cockpit, and then we'll do the stress test, and then we'll call this a day. Oh yeah, I forgot to call out here the this little kind of missing panel here with the inset detail. I'm really happy with how that looks. And then also this little additional engine piece. So it's like a muscle car or something with the exposed engine there. So I think that's really fun. So yeah, let's take a look on the inside. All right, so obviously you need to be able to sit a Din Djarin and a Grogu in here. And if you guys don't know, Din Djarin is the Mandalorian's real name. So we open up the cockpit. I'm using the trans clear cockpit for this versus the trans black for the other one because I just feel like those are both more accurate to each of these versions. So we take Mando out real quick, and you can see same setup in here with the seat. This time the seat back is brown because as far as I could tell it was brown in the show. And then we have the same droid body here for the control yoke. The same 3 screens, except now we have an additional screen, which is a red one that sits off kind of up and to the side, and that just shows Mando's kind of turbo boost level that he has, because he has that new feature where he hits the button and he basically gets the Fast and the Furious treatment, and he can boost super fast. So yeah, so there's that, and then we can open up the top section here, and you have Grogu sitting in his little compartment, and it's pretty snug in there. He's got a little room in front of him where he could maybe have some little toys or some food. And then down in here we just have a simple one stud here to connect him in, and then he just sits in there really nice and really happy, and he just puts the top down and he fits in there absolutely no fuss. And he has a nice range of kind of viewing here where he can see all around, but he doesn't feel like he's sitting up too high to where he's like too exposed. I think it's just right. So yeah, we can pop Mando back in here really easy, and we can close up the cover, and there you go. So I'll just give you a quick look at the stress test while I have this here. So same as the other chip, except I accidentally pulled up the Technic pin on this one, so let's just put that back in there. And then yeah, exactly the same deal. No additional stress really. You can just do the same thing. Pick up from the engines, pick it up from the back, and you can just fly it around. And this actually has that additional engine piece underneath here, so that even gives it a little bit of an extra area to grab. So you could really, like, even if you wanted to like film, a Grogu's eye view of the flying the ship, I think that's really cool, and you can kind of get that back there without getting your hands in the way. So so yeah, that's really cool. I think overall this is as sturdy as it could possibly be for something with as much detail as it has. I mean, the same goes for here. You can pick it up from the other engine too. No problems there. And then I forgot to actually mention before, these cannons are adjustable. I don't know if in canon, so to speak, these can actually be adjusted. I feel like they're probably fixed. But that is just a nice little feature that you have if you wanted to pretend like that's something that Din's ship can do. So yeah, same exact underside detailing in here, except for, like I mentioned, that additional engine. And then under here we just have a missing panel, which I did spot when in the show when he was coming into land, that there was a gray kind of cutout section here, so I just wanted to represent that. And the same missile tube setup and everything as on the other one. So yeah, really simple. You can see there the ice gate pieces kind of protruding out of the front there and representing that frame that I was mentioning. and it just looks really effective, I think. So there you go. Let's pull in the other one, and we can show you both of these ships together. Cousins, brothers, I don't know exactly what they are, but closely related, and I think they look absolutely fantastic side by side. So I'm really, really excited to be able to get you guys those instructions and for you to be able to build these for yourself, because this was such a fun challenge. I will be including the sticker sheet that I used for this, and you know, it's just up to you to cut those out from the sticker sheet and apply them the way that you see here. And I'll include images as well in the instructions so that you can see exactly what goes where and how. So there you go. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at my custom Naboo Starfighters. I wish that this one had a name. I don't know what, just call it Mando's N1, I guess. But yeah, I'm absolutely so thrilled to have these as part of my Ultimate Playset Scale series. And even though they don't scale to the Naboo's Royal Starship, because it's much, much larger, I still think that they make for a cool kind of Naboo collection. I'm glad to have some more representation, because I love the design of all the Naboo stuff. That they really like that chromed, super artful aesthetic just really, really captures the feeling of the pre-war beauty of the Star Wars galaxy. So I absolutely love it. So yeah, hopefully you guys do as well. Hopefully you get a kick out of having these in your collection. And thanks for watching up to this point. So I will see you on the next video. Thanks again, and may the Force be with you.